Are you struggling with low balls to your forehand and you want to learn how to hit slice like the pros? Maybe you want to really have true ball control and feel and be able to knife that slice forehand so you can give your opponents fits. Well, in today's lesson, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. My name is Jeff Salzenstein. I'm the founder of Tennis Evolution, one of the leading online tennis instruction websites in the world. And usually we talk about the serve and the topspin forehand, but so many requests have come in for the slice forehand. And even though I don't teach it often, I do think it's a shot that you can practice so that you can develop feel, not only at the baseline, but if you want to approach and go to the net, and even it can help you with your volleys. So let's get into a step-by-step formula to help you with your slice forehand today. First of all, we've got to talk about the grip. Now, the continental grip is that traditional grip that you want to use when you're hitting a slice forehand. And the way that I teach it is I like to have players use their volley grip. So some players have a true continental grip when they volley. For me, I like to slide the heel of the hand towards the forehand side a little bit for my forehand volleys. So the strings are going to face the net a little bit more instead of having a true continental where the racket face is really open. So I actually move that heel of the hand towards the forehand side. So I'm going to have a little flatter volley on the forehand side. And in order for me to get more spin, I'm going to open up the racket face a little bit. You've got to find what works for you. And so I want to make that point that there is some variance with the continental grip. True continental, or what I call a soft continental, where you move the heel of the hand towards the forehand side a little bit more. But maybe what's more important is that you make sure that your trigger finger or your index finger is spread. You want that trigger finger spread on the racket. You don't want to be holding the racket like this. This is the death of your volley or your slice forehand. So make sure that you spread that trigger finger, and then how choked up you are is really up to you. When I volley, I like to choke up a little bit so that I can have more control and feel. You might feel better with the heel of the hand off of the racket. That is also a personal preference. Know that you'll get a little bit more power and acceleration if you have the heel of the hand off of the racket, but if you choke up, you'll get more ball control and feel. So that's the grip. Now we've got to talk about the first move. If you're in your ready position, let's say even you have a forehand grip and you see the ball is coming low and you want to hit a slice forehand, you're going to change to that continental grip from the ready position. And what I want you to pretend that you're going to do is pretend you're going to catch a ball. So the first move, you'll notice, look at what my hand does. It's almost like opening a door or opening a gate. You don't want to turn sideways right away. You don't want to take your racket back like this. You want to keep your shoulders and your hips facing the net a little bit more. Go at about a 45-degree angle like this, at a diagonal, and you're basically going to pretend like you're going to volley or you're going to catch a ball like this. That is your first move position. Now, here's the key. Instead of just keeping in this position and hitting the slice forehand, once you find this position right here, like you're going to catch a ball, when you go to swing, you will take the racket back. If you decide to step in with your front foot, if you decide to hit it off of this leg, you are going to take the racket back. But we don't want to take the racket back too early. We want to keep it here, we want to find the ball, and then we can take the racket back in a natural way as part of the forward swing. So that's your first move. Now, let's get into the swing path. And this is where my teaching is really going to be different than what you're hearing from other coaches online and even on the court. I teach what's called an outside to inside swing path. So when you make that first move, notice where my hands and where the racket goes, it goes away from me with a bent, relaxed arm. It doesn't go out straight like this. I don't want the arm straight. I also don't want to be in too tight. I also don't want to take the racket back. You are getting disconnected. Your arm is getting disconnected from your body. You want everything to be connected. So I like the arm to be bent, but it's away from me. It's outside my body, out here. Now, the swing path, instead of going forward like this, I see a lot of players, watch my arm position. The lower arm is doing the work here, and I'm going forward and down. It's a chopping effect. See this with a lot of players. You want to go from outside to inside. So you're going across the body. Now, here's the mistake you're going to make if you try to copy me or model me. You're going to go too fast. You have to go slow. So when you're working on this, you can set the racket like this, and you can go slow. Now, when I say slow, I am still accelerating at the contact point. But what I see players do is when they swing, they keep swinging fast. So when they make contact, they continue to accelerate and they swipe across the ball. Here's the big payoff tip here with the swing path. When you think about how to accelerate and swing the racket, you want to try to slow down. See how I slow down after contact. So I'm going to accelerate to the ball, and then I'm going to slow down. Might even stop. Okay, a lot of players that are coming across, when they see me teach this outside to inside swing path, they come across too fast and they go too long. I want you to shorten your swing, and I want you to stop sooner. So you'll see that when I finish, the tip of the racket is facing towards the net. Tip of the racket facing towards the net. If I extend it longer, look where the tip of the racket is facing. It's facing up towards the sky. We don't want that. So make sure that when you start on the outside and you come inside, you stop right in front of your body when you're working on your slice forehand. So this moves us from outside to inside with a stop. Look at that position right there. The strings are open. The tip of the racket is facing towards the net. Now, if you are doing this and the ball is popping up, if you're cutting under the ball, that means you are trying to create slice by manipulating the racket too much. You have to set the racket and think, if you have the right grip and you have the right first move, from here, you're going to think of hitting flat on the ball because the strings, the racket face is already open at contact. You do not have to create the slice. This is a big problem that players have. They try to create slice with their hand and you don't have to. If this part is correct, if the grip part is correct, you think of hitting flat because the racket face is already open. So I really try to knife this ball and get a flat hit on the ball because I know that I'm naturally going to hit underspin with my grip and my swing path. The other thing I want you to consider is when you swing from outside to inside, we want to create side spin. The side spin is where you get this ball control and feel. So think of hitting, even if you go cross court, I want you to feel like the ball is going to bounce and it's going to bounce to the side more. It's not going to continue to go in the direction you hit it. Even if you go cross court, that's the outside to inside. You're trying to create side spin on the ball and you're stopping the finish like this. Outside, inside, not forward and down. Now, a little bit more about the swing path and about how to really get this down if you have a tendency to chop and use your lower arm. Hold your shoulder like this and feel like you're moving from the shoulder instead of the arm. This is a big habit that I want you to change. You're going to set this shoulder and you're just moving with your shoulder. So if I toss the ball, I'm moving my shoulder like this and my arm is along for the ride. That can really help you a lot as well. Some of the big keys that I want you to take home here are getting that outside to inside swing path and then stopping your finish. Really memorize your finish, especially when you hit a great one. Hold the finish for 2 seconds. Okay, I like to have my players, when they swing, if they go too long like this, we bring the racket down to the right position. This time I'm going to stop sooner. Stopping sooner is one of the big keys right here. And I hold it, 1-1000, 2-1000, I'll get 3-1000. That's a huge key, is holding the finish and memorizing your finish. If you go too far, you bring it back. Consider putting a video on your slice forehand and studying it and compare it to this lesson. It makes a huge difference if you can actually see what you're doing instead of assuming that you're doing the right thing. So we've gone through the grip. We've gone through the first move. We've gone through the swing path, and we've gone through the finish. Very important to get that finish down. Now I want to talk a little bit about movement before we wrap up today. The big thing that I want you to avoid is when the ball comes to you, and I mentioned this earlier, avoid turning sideways and even stepping across. I see a lot of players reaching for a low ball and they step across like this. What we want to practice doing is keeping the hips more open. So let's say that I decide to step in and I'm moving here. I can actually use a little karaoke move, but notice, look at my hips. Karaoke step, but look at my hips. They are not turning, they're not overturning. So I'm keeping my hips facing karaoke, and that's what I want you to do on a low ball. It's low, use a karaoke. The last thing you want to do is step in and stop. So you want to keep moving through the low ball, and look at my hips. My hips are dancing here, right? Got a little rhythm to my hips. When you're running wide, you want to open up your stance and you want to make sure that you hit it off of the outside leg. Notice my hips again. Outside leg, hips again, and I'm moving through it. Dominique Thiem does a great job when he works out with his slice or even with his other ground strokes, but particularly his slice. He moves through the ball, okay? He doesn't just hit and stop like most players do. So you want to teach yourself to move through the ball, hit it off your outside leg, hit it off your front foot, and use the karaoke. So we've covered a lot in this lesson. It's a step-by-step masterclass on the slice forehand. I'm sure there will be more questions after this video. There's much more that I can teach on the slice forehand, how to approach with slice, how to deal with the wide ball, the low ball. But today I wanted to give you a technical breakdown and also give you some movement tips. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment or question below. I'd love to help you out. And before you go, I've got a great free gift for you. It's a free membership to Tennis Evolution. No credit cards required. All you have to do is click the button below to get started, or somewhere in this video. Let's get you inside the Tennis Evolution app and accelerating your learning and your progress. Thanks for your time today, and we will see you at the next lesson.